You've seen a lot of different things.
I have.
What are your thoughts about network marketing in general? And what is your thoughts about the decision that people can make to become entrepreneurs using it?
Well, it's interesting, I'm doing this program right now and I got a room, of a couple thousand people from 44 countries. They're all business owners. Some of them are businesses that are approaching $1 billion. Some of them haven't even started yet, right? They're just picking their business. So it's really variety. And one of my goals in that event is to actually get people to not go in business. And the reason it sounds horrible is someone spends $10,000 come to an event. I told them up front, some of you are not made for this because to run a business requires a certain natural capacity, a nature, if you would, besides skills that you learn. And it's the ability to handle risk. It's the ability to handle stress. It's the ability to do a lot of different things. And you have to be able to manage finance. Most people, they have some of those skills. And that's why every year, 50% of businesses that start are out of business. You look at over any 5-year period of time, 80% are out of business, and over a 10-year period of time, only 4% make it. Now, make it, Eric, doesn't mean that they're making any money, right? That just means they're still standing. 96% fail, and after 10 years, you're set, right? No. Look at Lehman Brothers, right? Around for a century. They did combined $1 trillion in revenue over that century, and they're gone. So the world, technology changes, products and services changes, it's so competitive. So to really be successful, it's a really unique situation. What's beautiful about network marketing is you get all the benefits of being an owner, but you don't have to be worrying about supply chain. You don't have to be worried about accounting, especially in the world we're in today. Network marketing used to be a little bit more different, but today with technology, you can know what's happening in real time. The companies have already set up the software, they know what happens. So it's really picking the right company, and there's a lot of great companies in that area. And it's really realizing that you're really a value creator. If you can go out and add value to other people's lives, if you can just introduce people to a product or a service that a company represents that truly is extraordinary, some products and services can't just be thrown up on Amazon. They need the story to be told. And if you found a product or service of that nature and you got a company that has a generous schedule of being able to reward you, and then you begin to get leverage where it's not just you, where you've multiplied your efforts to other people, then you get all the benefits of being a business owner without all the headaches and without the same level of risk. And so I think network marketing is amazing. Now, network marketing has a mixed reputation, and we all know that, right, in the marketplace. And anybody goes out there, what are you doing? That's why you got to own yourself as a professional. I think that's why I'm supportive of what you do, because you're not just pumping people up, you're giving people real skill sets to be a pro.
So I hope you're as excited as
to really control your future. Let's give him a tremendous round of applause, if you please. Yes, indeed. Yes. This is who he is. Yes. That's my brother from another mother. How many have major goals you'd like to achieve? Raise your hands, please. Very good. I like seeing that. Always like to ask that question, how many of you have major goals you like to achieve? Then I follow up with another question, because this is a crucial place in my life. Just came from the memorial services yesterday in Plano, Texas, of Zig Ziglar. I remember when I first saw him speak, I knew I was looking at my destiny. I love helping people, and my goal was to be on stage with Zig and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Jim Rohn. These guys have gone on to the next level, but that was my goal and dream, and I was very fortunate to achieve that at a very crucial point in my life. This industry has really contributed a great deal to me. I go way back in multi-level marketing from the days of a company called Best Line Products, a guy named Bill Bailey. He was one of the mentors of Jim Rohn, one of the greatest speakers on the planet, and holiday magic. At this stage of my life, and I think about all of the things that I've done, I can tell you unequivocally, to dreamers, there's no business that will contribute to your growth and development more than this industry. There are several power strategies I'd like to share with you, but with the limited time that I have, I want to drill deeply on 3 of those that you will have as a result of being a part of this industry. Because what this industry allows you to do, and I want you to write this down. Number one, it secures your future. It secures your future. Number two, it will stretch you. You develop some new skills, people skills. You're a dreamer, you can't make your dream happen without building people. As I reflect on my life, 15 years ago I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, given a 2 to 3 year prognosis. And the skill set that I developed in multi-level marketing allowed me to generate enough income that I could focus on my health, take care of my mother. I'm adopted. I was born in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City. The other thing it did, it expanded my vision of myself. This is a time that as you look at yourself, there's no such thing as job security. How many of you know that? Raise your hands, please. And it instilled in me a sense of confidence, a strong sense of self. When you have a strong sense of self, that gives your life a sense of purpose. And your life has a sense of purpose, that gives your life a sense of direction. And the economy has changed. We have switched. I remember reading a book by Alvin Toffler called Future Shock. And the things that he talked about, what he predicted, we're living that right now. The 40-40 plan is gone, where you can go to college and graduate and get a job and work 40 hours a week doing the same thing for 40 years. That's gone. 73% of the college graduates, when they graduate, unable to find a job, they move back home with their parents. What multi-level marketing does, it empowers you and gives you the ability to create your own job. It gives you the ability to create your own destiny. I remember seeing Zig on stage. If you give enough people what they want, they will give you what you want. I remember Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, change your thinking and you will change your life. I remember Jim Rohn, when the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. I remember Earl Nightingale, all of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. I remember listening to those recordings over and over and over and over again to change my mental blueprint.
Changing your mental blueprint. Such interesting words that Les Brown used from all of those different people. I think all of us need to change.
Lose money every single year. So why would you save something that loses money every year? And what this means for somebody on retirement plans is that after you retire, the value of your dollar goes down and your cost of living keeps going up. To my rich dad, that was bad advice and made no sense. Again, it was different values.
This goes against everything you've heard.
A very important diagram my rich dad showed me when I was a little boy was a diagram known as a cash flow quadrant. And the quadrant is made up of the 4 different people who make up the world of business. So my rich dad said, in the world of business, there's E's, and E's stand for employees. An employee, he says, you can always tell who they are by their core values. And what the employee, whether the president or the janitor of the company, will always say the same words. The words are, I'm looking for a safe, secure job with benefits. That's what makes them an employee, because their core values are security. The other one of the 4 is the S, or the small business owner or the self-employed. And again, their core values will cause them to use the same words, which are, if you want it done right, do it by yourself. S means they're also solo. They're generally one-person act, or they operate by themselves. On the right side of the quadrant are the B's. And what Rich Dad said the B stood for was big business, or like Bill Gates. Forbes defines big business as 500 employees or more. And their words are different. They say, I'm looking for a good system, a good network, and the smartest people I know to help run my business. So they're unlike the S. They don't want to run the company by themselves. They want smart people to run their companies for them. And then the 4th of the quadrant is the I, and I stands for investor. These are people who have money work hard for them. These people are people who have people work hard for them. And these are the people that work hard for the rich here. So early on in my life, it was my poor dad who always said to me, you know, Robert, go to school and so you get a high-paying job. And so my poor dad's core value was to be an employee. He wanted job security, promotions, a steady paycheck, and all this. And so it was my rich dad who said to me, he says, you know, Robert, if you really want to be rich, learn to build businesses. It made more sense to him to work hard to build a business, something you owned and something you could pass on for generation to generation to your kids. Whereas my poor dad said, work hard, but my rich dad said, why would you work hard for something you'll never own and you can get fired from right away? Again, that was a difference in values. So my rich dad suggested I learn how to be a business owner and learn how to be an investor. And that's one of the big differences. On this side of the quadrant, these people here work for security. They work for money also. On this side over here, their key value that they want is they want freedom. They don't want to have to work at a job anymore. They don't want to have to work for the rest of their lives. So the beauty of building a business and learning how to invest is very simply that this is passive income. You work hard for a few years, but possibly for the rest of your life, income keeps flowing to you.
Of all the businesses out there, which type do you choose?
One of the reasons I consider a direct selling business a perfect business is very simply because the company will work with you to get the business skills that make you rich. Always remember that it's not money that makes you rich, it's business skills. And that's why it's a perfect business. They'll take as long as you like to get the skills to make the money. And that's a lifetime skill thing. The other part about it is the low startup cost. You know, where else can you get in for under $500 and get these skills? For people who want to make the shift over to the B quadrant, which is what I would recommend for people, one of the beauties of a network marketing company is that you can do that for a very low price. And that's why I talk to people about considering network marketing. If you're to build a Microsoft, it would take you hundreds of millions of dollars. But a network marketing company allows you to start at a very low rate. They'll be patient with you. They'll take their time to transition over here. And the reason why that time is so important to most people is it takes time to change those values. And the most important thing is once you take the time, let's say it takes 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever time it takes, once you see the value or the core values of this side and this side, you're unstoppable. Today, I would never go back and get a job. Why should I? I'd rather stay on this side, build companies, pay less taxes, and make more money. But the key is a person needs to change the values from my poor dad to the values of my rich dad. And that's one of the beauties of network marketing companies. They allow you the time, and at very low cost, they'll work with you to make that transition over there. The number one asset a person can build is build a business. That is the smartest thing you can do.
You've been told the corporate ladder is the surest route to your success.
Years ago, I decided not to follow the corporate ladder simply because, again, it was values. You know, my poor dad always said, go to school and get a high-paying job with the government or a big corporation. But my rich dad said, why would you work so hard at something you'll never own? You can't sell your job. You can't pass it on to your kids. So to me, it never made any sense. It made more sense to build my own business and hire other people. The other reason is that you really don't have much control if you're in the corporate ladder world. For example, you can get fired at any time, or today we have what's called M&As, or mergers and acquisitions, where another company buys another company. So you could be a great employee, but the company that buys your company just fires you.
Wait a minute. This sounds too good to be true. Like one of those get-rich-quick schemes.
It's not a get-rich-quick formula. You don't just do it overnight. It takes time. I still remember the first time I made that transition was back in 1978 when I fully quit my job and I had to depend upon my company that I was building to support me. So I understand the fear. The beauty, the most important thing to remember is this. There's two kinds of people in the world. There are the types that will say, you'll never make it. And I had a lot of friends and family saying that. You're stupid, don't do it. And the second type were the people that said, go for it, you can do it. Don't worry about it, we'll cover you. So the most important thing is support of friends and family. One of the beauties of a direct selling company is that they provide that personal support to you for as long as it takes you to make the journey from the left side to my rich dad side.
You always thought being self-employed was living the American dream.
One of the challenges of being self-employed is that you're your own boss. You're the solo act. Like in the S quadrant, you're the individual. You do it on your own. Whereas in the B quadrant, you're a team player. You have to depend upon your team and count on your team. So the problem with being an S is that, let's say you're in a traffic accident, there goes your income. And let's say you get older and you haven't set enough money aside to retire on, that means you'll probably have to work for the rest of your life because you don't have anybody else to fall back on, not a team to count on. So one of the problems with the S, although most people say it's the most satisfying of all work, it is a solo act and you're totally on your own. Personally, I'd rather be a member of a team. They can count on me and I can count on them.
It sounds like a smart move, but change, it's so difficult.
We all know the world has changed, but sometimes the hardest thing to change is ourselves. And being an old guy, I sort of know the older I get, I sometimes get more set in my ways. And I think that's one of the things that a direct selling business offers people, why it's the perfect business. They allow you to take your time to make the mental, emotional, and physical changes required to move from the left side to the rich dad side. I think that's a big thing. It's a very gracious, it's a very elegant way, it's a patient way of supporting you in making the changes of your life. So please remember, change always creates upset, but sometimes we all know we have to make those changes. And if you know it's time for you to make that change, then the perfect business may be a direct selling business for you.
Direct selling.